What's going on, guys? Greg here, and you are tuned into The Dot, the show where we go over all the best new music of the month, and the month is April 2019, and April was Kevin Abstract's coming out party. And I get it all the time, they're like, oh Greg, but Kevin Abstract had Brockhampton. No, this was the first time Kevin Abstract has come out with an album on his own that was absolutely incredible. I mean, front to back, this album got me on board with the fact that Kevin Abstract will probably be the next big thing in music in general. I'm not just gonna put it in hip hop. I just think he's gonna be a star. He has the pop elements, the hip hop elements. He's listener friendly, he's fun, he's energetic, and Kevin Abstract's album Arizona Baby was just really good. I mean, he came out with a couple albums before this album, but nothing came close to this. I mean, throughout the entire album, songs like Joyride, Mississippi, and Peach was phenomenal on the back end of that album. I just really think that between the EP he dropped earlier in this month and capping it off with the album towards the end of April, Kevin Abstract really proved that he is a force to be reckoned with in music in general. So keep an eye out on him. I see him headlining festivals in a few years, and I do not think that's that ridiculous of a thing to say. Also, the Cranberries released their final album called In the End, which pieces together some demo tracks and studio sessions that Dolores O'Riordan laid down before she passed away. And this was just a really cool album. I don't know if cool is the right word, because it's both a goodbye to the Cranberries and Dolores O'Riordan, who did pass away this past year, but I couldn't think of a more perfect way to remember the band. All right, so April was a very busy month, so I'm kind of just gonna rapid fire all the notable artists who released new music this month. We talked about Kevin Abstract and the Cranberries. Tame Impala releases Borderline, which is the second single off their upcoming album. Catfish and the Bottlemen released their third album called The Balance, and I really don't understand why this band doesn't get spun more in America. They're the most perfect radio rock sounding band I've heard in a very long time. And then the third album, every album has brought some pretty incredible tracks. The Chemical Brothers come out with No Geography, and for Chemical Brothers fans, this album was long awaited. Ishtar, my man Ishtar, releases Slow Down Baby, which if you haven't heard that album yet, stop listening to me right now and go listen to that. Tom Morello, Gary Clark Jr., and Grammatic release a song. I'll repeat that. Tom Morello, Gary Clark Jr., and Grammatic released a song called Can't Stop the Bleeding, and it was actually pretty good, even though it was the three most random people you could ever think of to come up with a song together. Courtney Barnett releases a song called Everybody Here Hates You, which is the most Courtney Barnett title, and it sounds like the most Courtney Barnett song ever, which means it was great. Anderson .Paak releases his album Ventura, which is a compliment to the album that he released a couple months ago. This new album is more on his love stuff. Jade Bird releases her self-titled album called Jade Bird, and it was great. I don't know if you guys have listened to Jade Bird, but she is so fun to listen to. She has such a great voice, very talented. Matt Mason comes out with his debut album called Back to the Funeral, which is really good when you go into that singer-songwriter realm. I guarantee we will be hearing him on the radio coming up. FKJ releases a song with Coltrane called Perfect Thing. Tosh Sultana releases a song called Can't Buy Happiness, and Tallest Man on Earth releases his album I Love You, It's a Forever Dream, which was a really good acoustic album. KG Elephant releases Social Cues, which was solid front to back. Pup releases arguably one of their best albums so far in Morbid Stuff. Jai Wolf comes out with Cure the Loneliness, which if you are a Jai Wolf or an electronic fan, he's one of the better DJs out there right now. Lizzo releases Cause I Love You, and oh my god, that album slaps. Local Natives releases an album at the end of the month called Violet Secret. Kevin Morby releases his album called Oh My God, which is on par with every piece of work that Kevin Morby's ever come out, which means it's well above par. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard come out with their album Fishing for Fishes, and this was such a different album from their previous pieces of work, and it was just something that may win them some new fans. And Nick Murphy, aka Chet Faker, releases an album called Run Fast Sleep Naked, which was very solid. Schoolboy Q comes out at the very end of the month with his new album Crash Talk, which features Travis Scott and Kid Cudi, and Black Bear releases his album Anonymous. Okay, that is enough from artists that you guys may have heard already. The whole point of this show is to show you guys some artists that you may have missed this month, and as you can see, it was a super active month when it comes to new music. But this band here called Wilder Woods, which is just one guy apparently, came out with a song called Someday Soon that just hit an octave that forced me to play this song first on The Dot. So without further ado, the first song this month is Wilder Woods with his new song Someday Soon.
There is a shadow in the hallway trying to frighten you. Don't let the darkness surround you. You can make it through. Don't you give up on the kingdom. Think it's crashing in. No, it ain't worth all the worry. They'll still let you in. Someday soon these worries roll on. Someday soon enough. Sometimes the weight of decision try to bury you. Don't let the shame tell you something that you know ain't true. Just 'cause you feel like a stranger, that don't mean you are. God, I could use a reminder of what forgiveness is for. Someday soon these worries roll on. Someday soon enough.
Wilder Woods with Someday Soon, and there really isn't a lot of information about Wilder Woods online. He actually just joined YouTube at the end of December 2018, and the only reason I know it's a him is from an article from Broadway World Music, shout out to them, that just keeps describing the band as a him. He released this and he did this. So that's the only information I'm really going off of. He has 2 songs out right now, and as you can see from the song we just listened to, he has a very powerful voice. All right, let's head down to the tip of South Africa, and a band that is actually one of South Africa's most prominent independent acts at the time, called Diamond Thug. And I promise you, they do not sound like you would think they sound, and we're gonna listen to their new song. This is Tell Me from Diamond Thug.
The wounded healer hides the first steps forward when the healing's done. At first the closing truth, but it shows the wounded healing can be a gift. Not forever, there'll be better days. Supernovas come this way, like lying in the sand, water in the desert. The ocean eventually meets the land. Tell me, my friend. Tell me, my friend. It's life in your head. It's life in your head.
It only happens once a month, so you must be on the dot.
Simon Thug with Tell Me into W.H. Lung with their song Empty Room off their debut album Incidental Music, and the trio from Manchester released a very interesting debut album with the opening song spanning over 10 minutes. I'm sure they're great to see live, so we'll keep an eye out for their tour dates. I do not see anything about their tour online, but let's bring it back into America, actually into New York, to Maybird with their new song, To You.
Always do what you think is right. Throw back the shade and shine some light on what really matters most to you. This is to whom it may concern. Since it concerns us both, we'll take turns. For now I pass it on to you. You used to call me on the phone, so we'd pretend we were not alone. And though that's not exactly true, it never mattered much to you. So stick around a little longer and mix it up a little bit stronger. This is the best I can do to get through to
Maybird with their song To You, and Maybird only has one album back from 2013 called Down and Under, and they have been releasing singles and EPs in the last few months, so I do feel like there is an album right around the corner. I really look forward to that. Alright, let's head to a band from Montreal, Canada, an electro pop band who put together a great song in Numb this past month, and the band is a three-piece made up of Emma, Jesse, and Dragos. His name is Dragos, Dragos. That's incredible. This is Numb from Men I Trust.
Please forgive me if I ever did wrong. I'll be your candle, burn me upside down. From now on, I won't sleep on my heart. It's how I feel deep inside my soul. Need to feel that I'm on the line. I'm sorry that I drag you down my way. I never meant to cheat you.
It only happens once a month, so you must be on the dot.
She said it's too cold at home and she'd rather come stay at my place in Marbella and lay in the sun while I play her the songs that I wrote for you. She said Berlin's not the same when I'm gone. It's the people around and the places they're going. But the truth is, it's never the city. It's always just you. It's always just you. It's always just you. So so I'm taking you home to see what it's like. Taking you home for you to see why I'm never alone. Wherever I go, it's true, I'm home with you. She said it's too cold to go out. She'd rather
Men I Trust with Numb into James Hersey and his song Taking You Home. And as you can tell with James Hersey, he does have a heavy Coldplay influence. And in 2014, his song Coming Over went #1 on the Billboard dance charts after being remixed by Kygo and Dylan Francis. And James Hersey really just took off from there. And he eventually signed with New York's famous Glass Note Records, who has signed the likes of Mumford & Sons and Churches. And he said this album, after writing a lot of songs that were top charts and hit songs, he said this album is really his inner voice. So really cool song to hear from him. Very tuned down, acoustic, and just pleasant to listen to. All right, that brings us to the artist of the month for the month of April 2019. And the artist of the month goes by the name of Fontaines D.C, a band from Dublin, Ireland, who released their debut album Drogel this past month. And it was really an awesome album. It went 9th on the UK charts, got the 4th in Ireland. This is Fontaines D.C with their songs Liberty Bell and Television Screen.
You know I love that violence that you get around here, that kind of ready steady violence, that violent how do you do, and the lie when it's daddy wife sleep in a phone booth. He's just very tired of having that same old boring conversation. Just like me, just like you, man is on a nod, yeah, what you gonna do about it? You know I love that violence that you get around here, that kind of ready steady violence, that violent how do you do, the lie when it's daddy wife sleep in a phone booth. He's just very tired of having that same old boring conversation. Just like me, just like you, man is on a nod, yeah, what you gonna do about it? Is it easy? Saw the ice face fail for the first time in years, and the water levels rise round the television screen. All your tough man looks for which you had reserved the room full of mirrors, and the television screen, and the television screen, and the television screen, and the television screen.
Liberty Bell and Television Screen. And guys, that's gonna do it for this month of The Dot. We went through Wilder Woods, Diamond Thug, W.H. Lung, Maybird, Men I Trust, James Hersey, and Fontaines D.C was our artist of the month. A special shout out to artists like FKA Twigs, Robotaki Millennial, Hotbed, Cherry Pickle, Tradewind, just to name a few that you guys might have looked over who put out new music this past month. And I'm gonna have BAYNK play us out with his new song Water. That's BAYNK. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to follow these artists on Bands in Town and buy their merch, and never forget that it only happens once a month, so you must be on the dot.